Hey there, beautiful family of light. Welcome to Unmasked Universe, where we unmask the universe that lives inside all of us. Thank you so much for coming back. And to all my returning subscribers, I'm so very grateful for all of you. I couldn't have this channel without any of you. So I'm blessed. And today's going to be a little bit different of a topic. This is a question that I had arise a long time ago, many, many years ago, from other people in my life. And the question was this: why is it that I keep attracting the same person into my life? Or why is it that every partner I have had has cheated on me? Or why is it, we can keep going on and on and on about all the different characteristics and traits, users, abusers, people who are neglectful, people who don't open up emotionally, people who are emotionally insensitive, people who aren't even capable of opening or touching base with their heart or their inner child in any way. The list can go on and on and on. Take it as it resonates with you. Why is it, though, that we keep attracting the same people over and over and over? And how do we fix this? Well, my friends, the solution is simple. Well, maybe it's not totally simple, but when I just spit it out, it could just be a one sentence kind of deal. You will keep attracting the same people into your life over and over and over again until you love yourself. See, that could just be one sentence. But let's not leave it there because that's just, not enough. Not enough to live off of. So how do we go about all of that? I mean, really, it's not that simple, is it? Well, in essence, yes, the theory behind it is just that. It's that we don't love ourselves enough and hold ourselves in high enough regard to heal whatever traits and characteristics and patterns that we learned in our own childhood. So I want you to take a close look at your parents' dynamic. This can be hard sometimes for people because perhaps where you're at, you're still blinded by a lot of the traits and characteristics of your parents. Or perhaps there's been a lot of things done, even possibly when you were too young to remember, or it was just like swept under the rug and never spoken about to the children. Okay. So when things like that happen, you could be completely unaware. However, you could have seen, let's take cheating, for instance. Say one of your parents cheated on the other one. What you could have instead seen, instead of it being spoken to you, is an eruption within the family. And you could have seen anything from just passive aggressiveness, anger, anxiety, depression, mood swings, addictions. You could have seen arguing. You could have seen violence. You could have seen anything, but not understood the root cause of it, right? What was lying beneath what happened. And so, from a small child's perspective, especially, even if it was voiced, those memories can be completely suppressed or dormant or just not even you may not even be aware of them, right? So I want you to take a really good look at your family's dynamic and block it off in sections and see where things have happened and pay close attention to the age range around 36 to 42. Okay? Because it seems like, and this is just what I've watched and I've understood through observing many, many, many people, is that there seems to be this big happening right around that time of people's lives. And When you notice big shifts like that happening or big changes in the family, it could have happened when you were younger too, but pay attention to the 14-year cycles of a person's life. This is usually when they're in their Saturn return, right? And so then they have a bunch of issues pop up. And it could be from any way, like it could be from any party. It could have been from outside environments, such as other family or work, or it could be anything. But pay attention to your own family dynamics and pick apart all of the different things that you remember. And if you see that there is a big cluster of tension or even explosions or rage or anger or like all of these things that I just put out, everything that I've just said, if you see more than like three of those piled together and you see it, obviously it's going to appear differently in each person depending on the situation. And depending on if it was cheating, one person's going to feel one way about it. The one who was cheated on is going to be devastated and have to deal with the traumatic events that come from that, right? All the trauma. But then you've got the cheater who, may feel really bad, or that may be temporary, but you need to look at how it is that they're presenting themselves in the situation compassionately as well. Because, I mean, we're all on this journey together. We're all humans and we're all here to walk each other home in the end, despite whether you're talking to people like in your family or your ex friends or ex partners or not. We are all here to walk each other home by understanding that we're all connected and we're all one. And by you pulling yourself out of all of this, you actually pave the way for others to follow in your footsteps. So even if you don't know that you're being an inspiration to somebody else, know that you are. Just by making any change in the positive direction, you're already inspiring somebody. And sometimes that looks like people are criticizing you, they're judging you, and they will continue to do that until they're faced with an option to either change themselves, use that inspiration instead of being envious or jealous, use that inspiration to follow in your footsteps or to continue. Anyhow, I diverge. So once you've done picking apart kind of what you grew up in, what you've experienced, and what was normalized as love in your own family, because again, you're unique to your own experience. And what I've experienced is different than you. So you need to really pull apart your own life and your own situations, as well as your own family dynamics, in order to know what became normalized in your family. What you accepted to be as true is going to determine the way that you act and behave in a relationship. And that's not just what you've observed in your family dynamic, but how they treated you in that family dynamic as well. So again, it's not just the influences of your parents' relationship that certainly plays a massive part, but how were you treated? And I'll give you an example. In my family, there was parentification. And if you don't know what that means, it means that the parent themselves is not capable of being a parent because they have experienced developmental trauma in their childhood that actually kept them stuck in that aspect. And when you experience multiple traumas, it's very hard to climb out of it. In fact, this is how narcissists and people with narcissistic personality types, as well as sociopathy and psychopathy and sociopaths, are all born, is that they've experienced such developmental trauma that they haven't been able to overcome the child within. And so they grow into an adult body, but they are still acting and behaving from that child's perspective, which is manipulative often and controlling and power dynamics and being smug and thinking they're above people. These are the things that create these personality disorders. And so when you're looking at your own family dynamics, when you're looking at how you were treated in your own family, you have to also look at it from a compassionate lens that, everybody has gone through their things. And the only way that we can really move forward is to take responsibility for our actions today. What happened in the past, who you were in the past, is allowed to stay there in the past. So if you choose to step forward, you choose to take responsibility, and that can be difficult when you've experienced a lot of trauma in your own life. When you choose to take responsibility for your life and what happened in your life, even if it's not yours, even if it was out of your control and you were a child, you take responsibility for healing yourself because nobody else is going to do that for you, right? And so then you take on the patterns that you experienced in your own childhood, all of the things and the ways that you were treated, such as parentification, like, again, my situation meant that I became the parent to my parent. And so that affected me greatly because then I grew up as an adult parenting everybody, right? Self-sacrificing to take care of everybody else's needs and putting myself not even last. And that was very detrimental to me until I learned that I could not rely on anybody else to get on the path with me because ultimately we all have our own free will. And even when you desperately want one of these people to hear you out, to believe you, or to get on your side, so to say, they have free will, and it's not their job to heal you. It's nobody's job to heal you but you. And so when you have dynamics like this, you need to analyze them, you need to feel into them, you need to understand them. And that's why you need to break it apart. And these are the things that you need to heal within yourself along your own spiritual journey and your own healing journey by recognizing where the patterns came from to begin with. And by understanding that, you have a choice in the matter as to whether or not you want to change and grow for the better. And when you do that, when you heal the aspects of you, I have goosebumps all over my legs. When you heal all of these aspects about you from your childhood that you saw playing out, possibly in relationships or between the dynamics of your parents that you also saw playing into relationships, there is nothing that you'll resonate with within another person who carries that frequency of pain. And this is what I've realized. During that quiet time, I finally closed off the cycle and with my ex, and I emotionally detached from him to a point where when I saw him yesterday, it was like, okay. And that's a big deal for me because, I went through 14 years of psychological, mental, emotional neglect and abuse in that relationship. And so that was a massive indication of my own personal healing and my own personal journey. It was monumental. And that was worth celebrating, and it still is worth celebrating. My inner child is so happy. But then, once this happens, once these things are healed within you, The people who used to feel comfortable and safe that you would attract into your life no longer feel that way. In fact, you're almost repelled or even disgusted by their energy, by their frequency. This is how you attract real love into your life, by loving you, by understanding that nobody is responsible for your healing but you, and you taking responsibility for your own healing because you're worth it. And you are worth the experience of having that love. When you love yourself so much and you emanate that love into the world, what you attract into your life is going to match your frequency. Always, first and foremost. So if you want something in your life that you're not seeing showing up and you're tired and fed up with the same crap, then start changing the aspects of yourself that you want to see reflected. Within a relationship, this is what it is. You heal your childhood by understanding it and by integrating it. You heal yourself where others, especially in situations of abuse and toxicity, where others used to be able to anchor into, there's nothing left that they can anchor into because the wound is healed. It's closed forever. Unless you go back to that. But why would you if you're healed? That's not appealing anymore. That's not attractive, right? So then you have the opportunity for a higher level commitment, for a higher level relationship, a soulful relationship, one that is reciprocal, one that is out of love, one that's based out of trust, one where somebody will actually respect your boundaries and your expectations, who will care about you, who will be thoughtful towards you, and who will be deep enough to connect on whatever level that you find most attractive and most appealing to you. Not physically. I mean, that plays a role in everything, of course. But for me, it was never really a physical thing. It was always like, unfortunately, I had this. It's not unfortunate, it's a gift, but it was my curse for the longest time. I could see the good in everybody. That was one of my gifts. I could see straight to their heart, past all the illusions, past the words and everything on the facade on the outside, and I could see all of their potential within their heart, and that hurt me over and over and over again because I didn't understand that that's what I saw, and it blinded me to everything else. And now I use that and I understand it and I harness it in a way that using discernment, using my past and my experiences and my healing, I can now look at a person, see past everything, and see who they possibly could be, but I can also tell whether they are capable of changing or ready to change, because everybody's technically capable of it for the most part. But if they're not, I tend to just push back or, you know, distance myself because I don't need to be in that vibration. I don't need to be in that energy. It's a choice. It's a choice whether you want to be happy or not. It's a choice whether you want to have love in your life. It's a choice whether or not you want to feel fulfilled. So why not choose you? It's not selfish. It feels that way in the beginning when you're taking time for you because we've been conditioned to believe that. But again, that comes from a skewed and broken version of love. And most of us did not get the authentic thing. We don't know what love is. And that is why we have to go inside and fix ourselves, bring ourselves back into balance and union with us first. Then and only then, you can attract the love of your life. I hope this video helps. If it did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the video if you're new here, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.